Everything around you right now is vibrating. Your clothes you're wearing, the phone or the laptop you're watching this video right now, this light, the birds and insects chirping, my heart, my brain. Everything is energy. Everything is frequencies. Everything is vibrating. The question is, are those frequencies raising you up or are they tearing you down? Let's dive into it. Before we get into it, this channel serves to help you reach your potential, your full potential, walk in dominion, obeying the laws of God, automating success for your life, raising your frequency. If that sounds interesting, subscribe, like, and comment, and let's get right into the video. So, you're flesh, but what if you weren't just flesh and bone? What if you were frequencies? You are a walking, talking symphony of frequencies, like an orchestra perfectly played. You are like a radio. You're like an antenna. Every one of your 37 trillion cells is buzzing with tiny electrical currents. Your mitochondria, which is the power plant for your cells, doesn't just create energy. It resonates with light and heat and sound. That's very important. It's humming. And the heart produces the largest electromagnetic wave in your whole body, 8 to 10 feet away. That is very big. It's like your whole, longer than your wingspan. So when you feel calm, your field is smooth and coherent. But when you're stressed, it becomes jagged and chaotic. That's why you can feel someone's energy when they walk into the room. Another example of frequencies is our brain waves, is alpha, beta, theta, delta. All of these different brain waves vibrating at different frequencies and hertz, and they all have their different functions. And this is very interesting because the earth, it vibrates at a natural rhythm called the Schumann resonance, vibrating at 7.83 hertz. This is in the range of the theta, which is creativity, dreamlike. So when we go and ground on the earth, when we go out in nature, we're in tune, we're in sync, our brain syncs to these natural frequencies of nature. And here's a practical example. If you can remember, for next time you go into a place with super bright artificial lights, or just a super environment with super loud music, bumping music, and then go out and then go to a natural place, go to a lake, go to a pond, go to the forest, and just feel the difference. Those are frequencies, different frequencies operating there. You got to start treating your body like an antenna, because it is. It will pick up, just like an antenna, signals, good or bad. So next time, feel the environment you're in. Is it static or is it harmonious? So the first type of frequency I want to talk about is the fabrics, the power of high frequency fabrics, because your clothes affect your energy and your well-being. So yes, your clothes do vibrate, just like your cells, just like parasites, just like light, and just like food, living food. So these are the high frequency fabrics. You have the linen. This is at 5,000 hertz. This material, not quite this, but this material, linen, is breathable. It's antimicrobial. It's anti-allergenic. This frequency is the same range as the body's natural healing frequency. Then you have like wool. This is warm and grounding and protective. It's also at 5,000 hertz. Then you have hemp and silk. This has a little bit of hemp in it. This is at 1,000 to 3,000 hertz. These are durable, breathable, antibacterial, high energy, luxurious, antimicrobial. These are super good. Then you have your mid-range frequency fabrics. This is like the cotton. This is like the bamboo, the tencel, the soy fabrics. And notice how these are all plant-based fabrics. Nothing man-made, God made. So the body, for context, is at 100 hertz, neutral. So cotton is like a neutral. Bamboo, tencel, soy, depending how they're treated, they're neutral. These are neutral fabrics. They're still natural. They're still breathable. They're still sustainable, renewable. They're soft. God made them like that. But then you have your zero frequency fabrics. These are the polyesters, the nylons, the spandex, the acrylics. These have 0 hertz. These vibrate at 0 hertz. This is dead energy. This is actually stealing your energy and much worse. So let's go over some of the studies that have been done. So in 2019, there's a study that showed polyester leaches BPA in phthalates. This right on the largest organ of the body, largest eliminative organ of the body, the skin. Polyester literally bleeds plastic dust into the bloodstream. So these BPAs and phthalates are chemicals proven to disrupt hormones, to reduce sperm count and damage out the women's ovaries. There's also many more studies on infertility rates on this stuff, like also heat retention and poor breathability. Synthetic fabrics trap the heat of the body and disrupt the body's natural temperature regulation. I used to be a person that always used the active wear. Everything polyester, my shirt polyester, my boxers polyester, my shorts polyester, my socks polyester, everything, my sheets, my mattresses, everything was my blankets, everything was polyester, just 24/7 surrounded in polyester and plastic, petroleum based, I might add. But then I started looking at the label. So as you can see on this one, does it show? 100% linen. I love these pants. 100% linen. And then you have a shirt like this. You've seen me wear these types of shirts. You find the label. And you see what it's made out of. This one is 70% cotton, 30% linen. You have these undershirts, which are made of 100% cotton. This shirt, 95% cotton, 5% hemp. My shorts, 100% cotton. All of my boxers are 100% organic cotton. My socks are linen and cotton now. And I even have these grounding slides. Copper is a very important metal. It attracts electrons from the ground and it supports better function of the body. So Dr. Philip Callahan, he measured fabrics and found linen and wool had vibrated at 5,000 hertz. But how did he find it out? Why did he find it out? He was reading the Bible. Deuteronomy 22:11. God gave a law where you shouldn't mix linen and wool. And so he was very interested and he was like, why did God say something? Why did he do this? So he figured out and he discovered that linen has a negative charge, wool has a positive charge. When you combine them, they short circuit and they create zero energy, dead energy. So, law God gave, we disobey it, we lose energy. If we obey the law, we're happy. This is ancient wisdom that modern science is just now confirming. Revelations 19:8 describes saints clothed in fine linen, clean and bright. Linen has always symbolized purity and high vibration, clarity. Egyptian priests wore only linen because it was seen as the fabric of purity and light. And they believed it protected them, their energy, when they went into sacred temples. But all throughout the Bible, God's people wore linen. They wore these fabrics made out of the plants, made out of nature. And now studies and science shows that this is the best clothes to wear. So practical tips that I've implemented is I've switched all my clothes. All my clothes now is cotton, hemp, silk, bamboo, linen. Majority of it is cotton and linen. Try to prioritize linen and wool. Don't combine them. These are the highest fabrics you can find. And sleep in linen sheets. As you can see, I sleep on a cotton mattress on the floor. I have my linen sheets, my linen pillowcase, and then I have a cotton blanket. This recharges me, this heals me overnight. You ever wondered why static is produced, like when you're rubbing your feet on the carpet or you're rolling around in a blanket? This only happens with synthetic plastic materials, petroleum based. But when I'm sleeping in linen plant-based materials, I'm not creating static. This material is recharging me. Your plastic materials are draining your energy all throughout the night. This is a super good change you can implement today. And avoiding polyester. Number one thing is change your underwear. Women, change your bras and your underwear. Men, change the clothes that's closest, that's touching your private areas. These chemicals that leaches from these plastics, that traps the internal heat, disrupts our reproductive organs and really our whole system. The next frequency I want to talk about is the EMFs, the electromagnetic frequencies. You are being cooked alive. Let's talk about the EMFs. This is very, very important. EMFs are like this invisible storm around us. So the phone is like a mini microwave. If you guys don't know about the radiation that microwaves emit, y'all should look into it. Let me know if you want a video from me about it. But we don't use microwave. We got rid of our microwave as soon as we moved here. When you open the microwave, you take out that clear plate. Why does it have the nuclear radiation sign on it? I mean, we know it emits radiation. We know what it does to the food, how it changes the chemistry, how it burns the water molecules of it. This, when it comes into our body, acidifies the body a lot. The body doesn't want any type of foreign chemistry in it. So my recommendation, stop using the microwave. It's literally killing you. Simply just standing in the kitchen when the microwave is on, that radiation that is needed for it to run, that's already burning you. So the phone emits RF radiation. Take your iPhone out right now, go to settings, go to general, scroll down and find legal and regulatory, press on it, and you'll see the fourth thing says RF exposure. You read it. iPhone has been tested and meets applicable limits for radio frequency RF exposure. It tells you, do not touch this phone. It has to be at least 5 to 10 millimeters away from your body. The same iPhone says it. That's why Steve Jobs didn't give his kids an iPhone or an iPad. He knew the damage of this. He knew the addiction components of this. He knew what this would do to the brain. That's why social media CEOs don't use their own creation. They don't use social media. They don't use their own social medias because they know the addiction aspect, the damage of the phone. And this is scientific. Let me show you some studies. So 2017 showed clear evidence of increased brain and heart tumors in rats exposed to phone radiation. And for 2014 fertility study, men with phones in pockets had 50% lower sperm counts. There was this study they did, another study, where they took a picture of the body where it shows inflammation, green, yellow, red, all good. Then they put the phone in the pocket for 15 minutes, took it out, and then took the same picture. This whole area where the phone was, a big radius, bleeding into his reproductive organs, showed red, high inflammation. Bro, that's how I lived for so many years of my life. We'll get to the AirPods, but the Bluetooth, the wireless Apple Watch, the Bluetooth headphones, AirPods, the phone in my pocket 24/7. I didn't realize this was damaging. In 2018, research, EMFs cause oxidative stress, leading to chronic inflammation and DNA damage. And now let's talk about the AirPods, because the AirPods are super, super, super dangerous. It's literally like putting a microwave on your head and putting it to run 24/7. And me, I was jamming some very bad music, very unhealthy frequencies with the radiation of the Bluetooth. Bluetooth is a constant RF radiation, continually. and it goes directly into your ear canal. Studies link Bluetooth to neurodegeneration and memory decline. Definitely stop wearing this. Bluetooth is not healthy. Brain tumors are no joke. There's a 3 times increase in brain cancer in long-term cell phone users, 40% higher tumor risk in heavy cell phone users. So please, be careful. Many more other studies, EMFs increase oxidative stress, harming reproductive health. Some everyday symptoms of EMF overload are brain fog, anxiety, fatigue, sleep disruption, chronic headaches, and migraines. Did y'all know that bees and birds lose their navigation abilities when flying through high EMF towers? Imagine what that's doing to your body. There's a reason why in these EMF tower locations they have signs, do not live near here. Do not live near here, at least a couple 100 feet away, because this radiation burns our cells. And so here's some practical tips. Number 1, airplane mode. Look at this. My phone is on airplane mode. I always have it on airplane mode. When I go to sleep, airplane mode, I take my EMF blocking case made with ferrite, close it up, boom, put it over as far as I can away from me. That's how I sleep. Other thing is I always use wired headphones. I never use any Bluetooth anymore. Maybe sometimes I use a Bluetooth speaker, but it's pretty far away from me and it's not right in my ear canals, or it's not right touching my skin. It's over there. But limit your Bluetooth use. Why do you need an Apple Watch when you have a phone? When I talk on the phone, it's never like this. No, never. Speaker mode, full length away like this. And then we turn off the Wi-Fi at night. The 5G radiation, the Wi-Fi, this is burning us too. This is cooking us alive too. So we got to reduce it as much as possible. So we turn it off at night. We don't need it. And just, you try this one night, you will sleep like a baby. And we're gonna go over steps on how we can live with all of this, because we can't escape the bad frequencies. But first I wanna touch on the music, the power of the music. Music is not just entertainment, it's something spiritual. Food for the human body can be good or bad. Music for the soul can be good or bad. I made a whole video about the healing frequency sounds. I went in depth into many different topics, so that video is going to be right here or in the description. Go check it out. But music is not just entertainment. Music therapy lowers cortisol, raises dopamine, and even strengthens the immune system. And there's something very interesting that happened in the 1950s. So before the 1950s, music was tuned to 432 hertz. Now this frequency is aligned with natural resonance. It's known as the universal frequency. But in 1953, the ISO, alongside Rockefeller, standardized 440 hertz. Why would they do that? Why would they change it 8 frequencies? Some scientists argue this subtle shift creates tension and agitation in the nervous system. If you play 432 hertz to water and sand, it's going to create beautiful, symmetrical, crystalline structures. But if you play it 440 hertz, it's going to create asymmetrical, chaotic shapes, irregular. Imagine what that's doing to your body. Ancient cultures understood sound as healing. Indigenous shamans used drums to guide people into altered brain states. And David, the Bible records David playing the harp to Saul to calm Saul's troubled spirit. In hospitals today, music therapy helps stroke patients regain memory and reduce anxiety in surgery recovery rooms. So some practical tips that I've implemented. All I listen to is classical music, soft jazz music, beautiful instruments like the piano and the guitar and the violin and the harp and all these, saxophone, trombone. These are instruments designed to worship God and that resonate with the body's frequencies. Once you start listening to pop and hip hop and these artificial electrical man-made beats, they don't align with the frequencies of the body. So build a 432 hertz playlist. Start listening to calming, healing music, worship music, Gregorian chanting, 528 hertz, 741 hertz, 369 hertz. These are all healing. Hum and chanting, it vibrates the vagus nerve and it calms anxiety instantly. And play calming worship music because this resets the atmosphere of the home. So here is how to tune yourself daily. So these are 5 steps, because we can't, like I said, we can't avoid the bad frequencies, but we can raise our own frequency. So number 1, sunlight and fresh air. Go outside, bro. Go outside, especially in the morning. Get in the sun of the sunrise. Breathe in that fresh morning air. I always sleep with my windows wide open. I have a mosquito thing so the bugs can't get in, but I lift up my window all during the night so I can feel the breeze enter. I can smell the fresh air. I'm not breathing in this recycled, heavy positive ion air. So sunlight is natural infrared waves, frequencies, vibrations, energy. It boosts nitric oxide, and this opens the blood vessels so nutrients can get to the cells faster, quicker, more effectively. This increases serotonin, melatonin, and literally recharges your cells like a solar panel. And number 2 is eat fruits and herbs. Fruits are not just calories, they emit high levels of biophotons, high energy stored from the sun. There was this man, Li Qingwen. He was this Chinese martial artist, herbalist. He lived 256 years old, died in 1933. His theory was the higher something grew, the more life force it's going to have, the more energy and nutrients it's going to have because it's closer to the sun. The sun is charging it constantly. And so he drank many herbs, and he ate many fruits and berries that grew on the mountains and fruits that grew on the trees, just like God told us to. And what do you know? He lived super long and at a high functioning state as well. This man was super smart. He lived in the mountains. Imagine all the walking he did. At 250 years old, he had to come down. He was teaching people all the time. Eating them is eating captured light. Herbs carry vibrational phytochemicals. These speak directly to the DNA. All of these phytochemicals, they know what to do, where to go. If there's any attackers like parasites or dead cells, like any healing, any weaknesses, boom, they go and heal. God made herbs for our medicine, for the service of man. Number 3, wear natural fabrics. Wearing linen raises your frequency. Cotton keeps you neutral. Polyester drags you down. Number 4 is music and prayer. Singing aligns your breath and heart rhythm. Heart coherence. Prayer has been measured to stabilize brain wave activity and lower stress markers. Prayer is super powerful. Prayer is one of the highest frequency things you can do. And number 5, EMF reduction and grounding. Walking barefoot on grass or sand discharges excess EMF into the earth. This is how you get rid of and discharge your EMF. Because then also the earth will give you, the ground will give you electrons. These are alkaline. Studies show grounding reduces inflammation, balances cortisol, and improves sleep. You want to have a good night rest? Before you look at your phone, when you wake up, first thing you do shouldn't be looking at your phone. You go outside, you look at the sun, you ground 15 minutes, breathing. You're going to have an amazing night. Turn off the Wi-Fi, sleep in linen. You're sleeping like you've never slept before. So daily checklist. Did I get sun? Did I eat my fruit? Am I wearing natural healing fabrics? Am I listening to good healing frequency music? Did I pray? Did I ground? This is simple, this is powerful, and this is life-changing. This isn't just science, this is spiritual. This is ancient wisdom that God already gave us in his laws. He already told us these things. God created the world through vibration and sound. He said, let there be light. He spoke it. He spoke everything into existence. His words carried frequency that shaped reality. The enemy introduced static, confusion, distortion, noise. That's why the world feels loud and chaotic. God's design is harmony, peace, clarity, order. When you obey His natural and spiritual laws, you vibrate at the frequency of life itself. That's so powerful. Psalm 46:10, be still. Tune out the static so you can align with God's frequency and know who God is. Be still and know that I am God. Stillness is this tuning out of the static, of the chaos, of the noise, so you can align with God's frequency of life, of nature, of healing. So remember, everything is frequency. You got to write this down. You got to have it in your mind. Everything is frequency. From your heartbeat to the playlist you're listening to. From your clothes to the Wi-Fi. Waves are shaping you every second. Every second. You can live in static, distracted, diseased, drained, or you can choose harmony, health, clarity, life or death. The question is, which frequency will you live in? You got to choose one. Write in the comments, what will you choose? YouTube's going to recommend this video, so go check it out.